Welcome to Raleigh, North Carolina, and the Wolfpack is gathering and starting to howl in Carter Finley Stadium as they are ready to see NC State go to work. And while today is the final home game of the season for one team, it is more importantly a celebration, Senior Day, as we'll see a squad from the ACC, the North Carolina Tar Heels, taking on the 13th ranked team in the land, the NC State Wolfpack. Glad to have you with us for EA Sports College Football. I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack and Jesse Palmer with me in the booth. Guys, we are ready to tee it up. NC State will kick off, and that'll get things underway. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. So the North Carolina Tar Heels offense will get the first crack at it here. There are always butterflies to start a game, but when you have a rivalry like this, the adrenaline is pumping on overdrive, guys.
They aren't all the same. We say that, but we know differently. The blood is boiling, the temperature is hot. Jesse, you want this week more than most.
Yeah, David, we played in these games before. Everything just seems to be heightened, right? The game seems to be moving faster. The crowd noise feels louder. Your composure will be tested early in a game like this.
This crowd bringing the energy and noise early. And with this place rocking, the crowd forces a false start. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. On 3rd and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. It's on target and complete. And sure, tackling there to keep him from getting to the first down marker. The Tar Heels will punt it away on 4th down. 3 and out, and just like that, they'll have to give it up. He gets a block. He was working his way on the return toward midfield. They'll stop him at the 46. So NC State's offense will go to work for the first time. When a guy gets off the ball as quickly as he does, you know he's going to be breathing down your neck, and you got to get rid of it, Jesse.
This quarterback's good, but he better have a clock going off in his head. He's knows.
And there was nowhere to go for this quarterback, and down he goes.
Man, it didn't take long for the defense to get home on that play. You see them playing man coverage in the back end, slowing down the routes from the receivers and the rest of the offense. That forced the quarterback to have to hold on to it for just a split second longer, and they were able to get the sack.
A first down sack can wreck a drive. Let's see what they've got on 2nd and 14. To the ground with the back. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down. NC State going up tempo. Trying to impose their will with the run. They've got it inside the 40 at the 39 as they pick up the first down. Offense lining up quickly.
And already this guy is leaving his mark on this game. Opening drive, back-to-back runs where he's found a way to get positive yards. He was able to pick up the first on that last carry. They should keep feeding him the football. The more success they have, it's going to open up the play action game.
North Carolina State defining efficiency on this drive. They'll throw it from the red zone. Lets it fly deep downfield. To the end zone, and it's picked off. Great job by the freshman. Kept his eyes in the right place and made the play.
That's a decision the quarterback would love to have back. Down here in this area of the field in the red zone, these windows, they close so quickly. Everything just has to be done a little bit faster. You got to be so much more precise, and as a result of being late on the throw, they turn it over in the red zone.
North Carolina has it back, and the Tar Heels so pleased to send the offense back out. David, the punter got some work last time. They'd like to keep him on the sidelines in this drive.
Yeah, it's not something you want to say very often. You don't want the punter out there. This offense needs to get back lathered up and get a little bit more of a rhythm.
Best way to do that, identify where your best players are and just get them the football. Give these guys some touches to kickstart this offense.
On 2nd down, he'll let it fly. He's got him in the flat. They get him down after he makes the catch. Here comes this home crowd as the defense tries to get off the field on third down. From the gun, wants to pass. Pirouettes through. And a missed opportunity on third down as the defense knocks it free, and fourth down is coming up. He'll field the punt. That nifty return sets up the offense and negates some of the yardage on the punt. North Carolina State has it back in the offense, headed to the field. Wasting no time throwing on this drive. He looks that one in nicely. And that first defender was just waving at him after that sweet move. He picked up the first down. Off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. And that pressure just engulfed him. A sack from this defense.
Well, this guy's really feeling it. Of course, last week he had 2 sacks, and here he is in this one registering his first. This guy very quickly is making a name for himself as one of the best pass rushers in college football.
After the big first down sack, it's second down. Running to the left. Nice move there. Strong, firm tackle. This feels like 4-down territory, third and short from the 40. They'll try to bully their way for the first. Didn't get much, picked up a yard, and that will leave them with 4th and 2. This offense gets into plus territory. They're going to go for it regardless of their field goal kicker's range. How about that defense rising up and stopping him short on 4th down? The offense lining up for a first down play. Use the play fake, now to throw. Hauls it in. Gets it all the way down to the 39-yard line. It'll be a first down. And the Tar Heels want to move quickly.
Great job by the offense. Listen, if the defense is going to sit back in zone, you know what you got to do. Run those crossers across the formation. Those guys that are looking at the quarterback, they're not trying to pick up receivers all the time. Make those precise throws, right in those holes, get those first downs, get those big chunks.
They make the stop, not a whole lot of ground picked up there, and they'll have work to do to get the first down. Quick handoff. And he'll make his way out of bounds after the solid pickup. This is the type of play that decides games. Are you tough enough to convert third and short from the 30? Finds his big tight end. He'll come through on third down as he's got enough, and they'll mark it at the 23. Comes out throwing on first down. And he had it for a second, but it just dribbled out of his hands. Offense gets set for second down. Couldn't connect on first down, now back to the air. Nice defensive play to get a hand in there and knock it away. Quite a bit of work to do on third down from the 23, and this D would love to force a field goal try. Just too much heat that time, and they knock him down at the 31.
College football becomes more and more every year. More nickel, more dime packages, more speed on the field. So no matter what you do, I got a guy that can go chase down your quarterback in any situation. And you can see it right there. DB came flying in there, gets the first sack of the game.
And now on fourth down, they'll try a field goal. And this one is anything but routine. A 48-yard attempt from the right hash. Thought he had it and couldn't get it through the uprights. He missed it. After the miss, no change in the score. NC State sending the offense back onto the field. They've got it back after that last drive stalled out, and they were stopped on fourth down, David.
Yeah, and they put a little bit of a drive together, but, Jesse, they stalled on the other side of the field, and they got to find a way to keep that momentum going as they get closer to the end zone.
I agree. I do like their mindset, though, and I think they need to continue being aggressive moving forward in this game.
Quarterback on the keeper. And the freshman does a great job using his technique and getting the man on the ground. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. We'll see if they go back to the run here on third down. From the gun, wants to pass. Coming after it. Trying to make magic with his feet. Gets it to the 42-yard line, and that's a first down. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Wolfpack with a 1st and 10 here. The give to the back. Creating some space, getting just enough good blocking, and they've got it up to the 47-yard line. NC State quick to the line. They'll give it to the back. He steps out of bounds, but he's got enough for a first down. This drive has been exclusively on the ground. Could they be setting up a shot play? Softened him up with a run. Now to throw. Receiver looks it in. It's complete. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down mark. Off play action. Oh, he's ready to take a shot. Oh, what a grab by the defense. And they'll close in on him after a good return on the interception.
Most defenses are lucky if you have one good covering corner. Fewer are lucky if you have two. They've got 3 DBs, 3 corners that can play at the same time in their nickel package that they feel can go mano-a-mano with anyone in the country. And you saw it on that last play coming away with the pick.
The North Carolina offense returns to the field. We talk about settling for points, but sometimes when you have to settle for nothing, David, it can be demoralizing.
Yeah, and it can definitely be frustrating. And I think it leads you to say maybe I go for it more. But, Jesse, I think this offense just needs to put another drive together and just finish stronger.
Yeah, and be a little bit less predictable, too, especially as they get closer and closer down to the end zone.
He's back to throw on 2nd down. Looking to the big tight end. Reacted well to the tip, but just couldn't squeeze the football. Instead of the turnover, it'll be 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Unloads to the wideout. He's got it. Really nice job there to pick up the first down and get it to their own 41. From the gun, they'll give it on the inside. Nowhere to run on that one. He loses 4 on the carry. Couldn't get him blocked on that last one. Now it's 2nd and 14. They'll run the screen. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks. Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on 3rd down. He tosses one high and deep down the left side. And it goes through his hands. Oh, he had an explosive play right there for the taking, but couldn't reel it in. 4th down, and the punt team sends it the other way. And the punt will hit at the 7, and they can't corral it. It goes into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. Got his man. Tempo and overdrive. Got his man on the right. Excellent job working through the air there, finding a hole in that defense and picking up a first down. NC State going up tempo. Looking to go up top on 1st down. Got his man downfield. Plenty of room on that play, and they find their way to the 36. They get to the line quickly.
Well, Reese, you and I were talking about this before the game. How is this defense going to be able to deal with all the speed they have offensively? You saw them just rip off a big play.
And Jesse, and the quarterback will be slung down back at the 43.
Well, for this defense, finally, you're seeing pressure on the quarterback. They're outside the top 50 in sacks per game. They've been waiting to find some more consistent pressure to help them win games, and they're getting it in this game now. 3 sacks on the day. They're just simply winning and doing a better job executing up front at the point of attack.
Big first down sack for the defense. Brings up 2nd down. Pocket starts to collapse. And here comes the pressure, and there he goes down again.
Oftentimes with play action, you're asking the quarterback to hold on to the ball a bit longer, and you're asking this offensive line to hold up in pass pro a bit longer. Against this athletic front seven on defense, it's going to be tough.
And whatever they did on first and second down, don't do that anymore. Third and very long coming up. Looking downfield, and he needs a bunch. And he got a hand on it to knock it down in the end zone. The Wolfpack will have to bring the punt team onto the field. First punt of the day, and he'd love to lock them up close to their goal line. The punt goes out of bounds, and a nice job to get them backed up. I think they'll spot it right around the 15. North Carolina has it back, and the Tar Heels so pleased to send the offense back out. They finally get him on the ground, but the big running play moves the change for the first down. It has been all defense all the time in the early going as we wrap up the first quarter, and the stats certainly reflect that. Let's see if the offenses can find a little rhythm here in the second. They'll snap it from the 25 here on first down. Right back to the well. And they drag him down, but not before he picks up the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. He'll come out throwing on first down. Gets it to the back. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Still some work to do after that last completion at second down. He's looking to throw. Working the middle of the field, and it's complete. And the catch was one thing, and the run even better. A big pickup on that one. Finally, this offense starting to shake the cobwebs and get things moving. It's first and 10. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Last play was a near disaster, now dealing with second and 13. He's looking to throw. Fires to the wideout. And it'll be incomplete. This is some physical pass defense. Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on third down. Buys a little time. The quarterback scrambled around, but the defense able to scramble him and turn it into a sack.
This was one of the keys to the game. Could this quarterback, could he extend plays and then make throws in scramble situations? That time, the defense was able to get to him and bring him down for a huge loss.
The Tar Heels will send out the punt unit. He's getting a lot of work. Fourth time he's punted tonight. Fields the punt and tries to find an opening. They'll get him corralled and down at about the 19-yard line. North Carolina State has it back in the offense, headed to the field. Power football with the run. Knocked down after picking up 5 out to the 24. NC State quick to the line. On second down, just keeps firing. Quick strike complete. Tackled immediately after the catch. They'll try to muscle their way forward on third and short from the 29. Here comes the option. He'll toss it. They'll finally make the tackle, but that option was executed to perfection. Wolfpack will have first and 10. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. To the 43-yard line and a first down for this offense. Moving quickly, trying to rattle the D. Off the play fake on first down to throw. And the quarterback is snowed under.
Play action pass success has a lot to do with selling that fake. You could tell defense was not buying it, got in the backfield, got the big play.
This offensive line has just been unable to keep them away from the quarterback. Now it's 2nd and long. They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. This is a 3rd and long. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. It's caught. And he's not going to get there. The defense stands tall and makes the stop. The Wolfpack will line up to punt it away. A fairly short distance here toward the sidelines, not his best work. The North Carolina offense returns to the field. That last drive fizzled out, Jesse. They had to punt it.
Yeah, they did. And, David, they're just going to have to do a better job this time around erasing the mental mistakes.
And just trying to solve the defensive riddle, understanding what they're trying to do to you and attack them.
Quarterback flips it ahead quickly to the receiver. He almost picked up the first down on that one, but he'll be just a little bit short. Here comes this home crowd as the defense tries to get off the field on 3rd down. They'll try to pick it up on the ground. And he needed just a single yard, and he did not get it. What a stout play by this defense. Yet another punt on the way. Got to make sure that hamstring stays loose. He's been busy. Coverage team gets the job done, and they'll mark him down at the 38-yard line. First play of the drive comes from the 38. Wants to throw on 1st down. And the defense is all over the quarterback, and down he goes.
I tell you what, if I'm this QB, I am ill as a hornet at my offensive line. Are you kidding me? That's the 6th time they put me on the ground. Dudes, will y'all protect me a little bit better, please?
These guys are bringing serious heat. They are like sharks swarming and just getting after the passer.
Encroachment. Defense.
The encroachment penalty on the D gives the offense a free 5 yards. Power football with the run. Nice, solid form tackle from this sophomore. NC State going up tempo. On 3rd down, he'll try to pick it up through the air.
3rd and long situation. They try to go screen. I think they were hoping it was going to be a big zone and they could get those offensive linemen down the field, but the defense sniffed it out, forcing the incompletion.
Catches it at the 15. They'll get him down at the 21-yard line. The coverage team able to stop him right there. 1st down here for the offense. He wants to throw. Now he's going to break the pocket. Got to protect the merchandise. Gets down without taking a hit. They'll line up for a 2nd down play. Out of the shotgun, they go to the ground. That one could really put this drive into high gear as they have a 1st down at the 37. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. To the air on 1st down. He's got it down the middle. We had a barn burner the last time these two teams played, and no reason to expect anything else between these two bitter rivals.
Attention to detail, and I think the sense of urgency, David, in a game like this just goes way up.
And I think managing the emotions in these type...
Pass on the way. It's picked off. Looking for more room. He's at the 10. And he has taken it all the way back. Touchdown, NC State.
And this is exactly what you dream about for a defense. Forcing the big turnover, making the pick, and then putting points on the board yourself. Great play by the defense.
PAT unit on the field. And with the extra point, they get the first 7 of the game. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
A bit of an under-the-radar game this week, guys, but take a look at this. Miami of Ohio is in the unusual position of having to come from behind right now, but there's not a soul who doesn't believe they can't pull this off. They're trailing by 10 to Western Michigan. Just another week of college football where we've come to expect the unexpected. Fellas?
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. On second down, they'll take to the air. They intercept it. Takes it the other way. Touchdown, Wolfpack! How about that D coming up with a play like that? Look, a lot of time left. There's a little bit of distance right now being put on the scoreboard.
There is, but it's so awesome when you're a defense and you study all week about what's coming and what routes to be ready for, and then you jump the route and you make the plays and you just go get in that end zone. It is so beautiful.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. The kick is up and good and put one more on the lead. They're lining up to kick it off after the pick six, and that defense will come out feeling it. And he takes this from inside the 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. North Carolina has it back, and the Tar Heels so pleased to send the offense back out. They'll throw it on first down. And the pressure gets him back at the 8-yard line.
Well, I think one of the biggest reasons why this team is finding themselves in a hole here in the first half is this has been a sack party. They can't keep the defense off of their quarterback. They haven't been able to get the ball deep down the field, throwing it with the consistency they want because they can't keep their quarterback standing up straight.
This pass rush has just been relentless, and you can bet your bottom dollar they're about to bring the heat again. Wants to fire on second down. And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. Third down coming. He's looking downfield to throw. And he got a hand in there, knocks it away, incomplete. And the Tar Heels will punt this one away. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. Fields the punt and tries to work it the other way. Really good job by the coverage team to make the stop, and that's where they'll put it in play. They'll throw it on first down. Quarterback on the move, still looking. And he has a solid gain on the play before sliding. NC State quick to the line.
Yeah, I think you're just seeing the experience this guy has, right? He's so poised that initially he's flushed out of the pocket, nothing's open, and he doesn't panic. He's not throwing it away. He's not sliding early. He just knows where the defense isn't, and he's able to attack that space with his speed and get a positive play.
Got it, looking for a first. And he's a real nowhere man tackled in this no-gain land. Despite failing earlier on fourth down, they will try again here. They'll try it on the ground. NC State will pick up the first down. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Ball spotted at the 27. It's 1st and 10. He's going to pass. And wings it incomplete. 4 wide out set, 2 on either side on 2nd and 10. He's looking to throw. Buys a little extra time. Quarterback tried to scramble around for a while, but the defense able to bring him down.
The defense has been so dominant up front. You've seen it in these passing situations. That now the 7th sack of the game.
I'm not positive, but that first down marker might be in the next county. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to turn one loose downfield. And the pressure is coming in, and they get him again.
Well, obviously, at this point in the first half, the defense is finding themselves in a hole. You just get the feeling if they're going to get back in this, they're going to need more plays like that. They're going to need sacks. They're going to need turnovers. They're going to have to create negative plays to get themselves some momentum.
As we reach the 2-minute warning, they'll need to try to get a stop to keep this thing from getting out of hand. And they're running out the kicker to give it a try. And he's got it from 57. What a beauty.
Well, that kid just showed off his hammer for a leg, 50-plus, and he did it with ease.
They're really starting to extend that lead as they get ready to kick it away again. He'll bring it out. Gets it out to the 20, about 5 yards short of where he'd be if he'd just taken a knee in the end zone. The North Carolina offense returns to the field. These guys have taken some body blows in the first half, but now a chance to do something. Snags it down the right side. Open runway ahead. And he eluded the defense, and he'll take it all the way. Touchdown, North Carolina!
Man, I tell you what, that passing touchdown, man, that should spark this whole team. Like, the comeback is more than on now. Like, they got the touchdown. They cut into the lead. You want to get a stop and go into the half, get all the juices, all the excitement, and be like, listen, the passing game's rolling. We got this. The comeback's in full effect.
Ready to try the point after. And with the extra point, they close to within 10, down 17-7. About to kick it away after scoring the touchdown.
17, North Carolina, 7.
On the move from inside his 5. And they'll bring him down to get the offense started on the next drive. And now the offense will come onto the field again. Trying to start the drive with a pass. Trying to beat the D deep. And that'll be incomplete. They tried to hit him with a big one on first down. They'll spread the defense out, going 5 wide on 2nd and 10. Misfired on the last play. They'll go back to the air. And the quarterback caught up to and sacked at the 12. We've got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. Out of the gun, the running back has it. He gets it oh so close to the first down marker, but I think he's going to be a touch short. The offense will stop the clock and use one of its timeouts. NC State to bring the punt team onto the field. 4th time tonight we've seen this guy come on to punt. And the punt team gets down there and gets the return man on the ground. North Carolina has it back, and the Tar Heels so pleased to send the offense back out. Going up top on first down. Running out of time here in the first half, and they do have a chance to make this a one-possession game.
And so you got to locate your best players and get them the football on this drive. You're down in the game. There's obviously a lot of football left, David, but on this drive, in this 2-minute situation, best players got to touch the ball.
And this could get into pressing mode, right? Like you go into the half, down a couple of scores, it starts to, the pressure really mounts. Good opportunity to take some of that pressure off, get some momentum, energize this.
And the quarterback will be slung down back at the 43. A timeout is called as this offense tries to find a way to get more points on the board before the half. Throws for the tight end. Oh, so close to paying off. The tip really had it in his hands, but it falls incomplete. On 3rd and long, doesn't need to take the check down. It's complete to the right. And he's not going to make it. The defense denying him the first down. Now it looks as if they'll settle for the field goal try. No good. The missed field goal still leaves us with a double-digit deficit. Still a 10-point game. North Carolina. going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update.
Fellas, what an environment there today. All the animosity and flat-out hatred that comes with a good old-fashioned rivalry game on display in that first half. And it's been a battle of wills between these two teams through 2 quarters. Bend but don't break. They've managed to neutralize the explosive playmakers on each side by shutting down passing windows and providing tight coverage. Forget the Jimmies and Joes. This second half could really be about the X's and O's. That said, let's get back to the field and our guys in the booth to see who comes out on top of this rivalry contest.
On the run from inside his own 5. And the coverage team able to make the tackle. NC State sending the offense back onto the field. They start this third quarter with the lead, but they might want to think about shoring up that protection.
Yeah, the good news is you're leading on the scoreboard. The bad news is your quarterback doesn't feel like it because you can't protect him. So, David, adjustments in pass protection, that has to be something they were talking about here at halftime.
100%. Just you can't get him hit that much. He's still doing a good job.
The ball's free. Now the defense has got it going the other way.
You just wonder about this guy's confidence right now. After fumbling in his last game, he's just fumbled again now. He seems like he's a little bit unsure of himself, and because of that, if you're the offensive coordinator, how many more times do you want to go back to this guy in this game?
Throws to the wideout. Through his hands and incomplete. He normally makes that catch every time. It's second down. He's looking to throw. Using the quick game. They make the stop, but not before they do their work up top and pick up a first down. The lone back's got it. Able to get 1 down to the 15. The Tar Heels come to the line in the hurry-up. From the gun, the ground game. Relying on the run, he gets a couple before he's knocked down. Ball's at the 13. Really need to pick up this conversion and avoid having to settle for the field goal. On 3rd and long, try to convert through the air. Got it! And they'll stop him inside the 5, but the defense is backed up in the shadow of its own goalpost. Lets it go to the end zone. And it's picked off for the 3rd time today. And he's brought down after the pick, but not before putting his offense in business. Backed up, 1st and 10 from inside their own 5. Let's see if they can create some space. They'll toss it to the left. Fighting to get it out of the end zone, and I don't think he made it. He did not. It's a safety.
You could tell the defense smelled it. They knew exactly where they were on the field, put the pressure on him, got him down in the end zone. Safety, baby.
After getting caught for a safety, they're lined up and ready to kick it off. He'll try to field the punt and see if he can give his offense better field position. Bounced out of bounds at the 38 after that return. The North Carolina offense returns to the field. That last drive was a punch in the gut, throwing the pick in the red zone, Jesse.
Yeah, and it just seemed like there was some miscommunication down there in the red zone. David, this drive, the QB and receivers just have to do a better job being on the same page.
Yeah, and I think you pull the positives, right? We moved the football down the field. We had a chance to score, but we can't let those opportunities slip between our hands. Let's go get some points.
Here they come, facing 3rd and long from the 40. Here's the snap, ready to cut one loose. They'll throw it to the back on the screen. Defense was not fooled by that screen to the back, and they'll stop him short of the marker. It'll be 4th down. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. And the Tar Heels will call on their punt team. He'll try to really get into this one. A fairly short distance here toward the sidelines, not his best work. 1st down for this offense. Here's the handoff. Cross the 30 to the 35, and that's a gain of 6. 6-yard pickup on first down leaves them with 2nd and 4. They'll try the run. And that defense pushing him out of bounds after a short gain.
Hold it.
We'll repeat the previous down, but this time the offense has 10 more yards it has to cover. They'll run it from the gun. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down. NC State going up tempo. Looking to throw on 3rd. Unloads to the wideout. Quarterback needs to make a better throw there. Incomplete. They bring the punter onto the field now. They may have to pay him overtime. He's punting for the 5th time today. Makes a nice grab at the 25. They're able to put a stop to that return right at the 30-yard line. Line gets set, first down. He's looking to throw it. And the defense gets to the quarterback.
And it's been a long day for this offense. If you can't protect your quarterback, it's hard to be successful. That's the 5th sack they have given up. The offensive coordinator has no answers, and this defense has been flying around.
They'll try to keep that sack from wrecking this drive here on 2nd and 15. He's looking to throw. Makes the grab down the middle. Makes the catch and knock down. Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on 3rd down. Finds a man on the right. Brought down to the ground, but he has enough for the first down. The Tar Heels have it with a 1st and 10. Here's the give off the left side. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. And now on 2nd down for this offense. He's looking to throw. Now adjusting. He'll pull it down. And he avoids the hit and slides after the short gain. If they can convert here, that type of play can really give you a shot of momentum. On 3rd down, going up top. And they won't make the connection going for the big play. And the Tar Heels will try to pin them back with the punt. A fairly short distance here toward the sidelines, not his best work. North Carolina State has it back in the offense, headed to the field. That last drive won't go on the highlight reel after ending in a punt. They'd like to be more productive this time, David.
And I think this offense has to be a little bit more balanced. Find a little balance between the run, Jesse, and working in that pass.
And I think, too, David, it's just going to take a spark. It just takes one play to get this thing picked up and going.
He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. Now facing a 3rd and long. Here's the snap, looking to throw.
And this is why you don't want to get in these situations. 3rd and long, defense knows it's pass. They're playing pass, playing deep. QB has nowhere to go with the football, so he just throws it away.
He'll field the punt and look for room. They'll put that return to a stop at the 33, but the offense set up in pretty good field position. Looking for a productive play on 1st down. Use the play fake, now to throw. Gets it out quickly. And he's going to lose yardage. He was looking everywhere for just a little grass and a little air, and none to be found. Fires to the big fella. And an absolutely fearless tackle. Giving up size, still got him on the turf. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to throw for it. Any way you can in your freshman season at quarterback, and he gets it done on the ground. Now they'll line it up from the 44 on 1st and 10. He's right on target. Found enough room to get it into enemy territory. They're down at the 43-yard line. The Tar Heels look to keep this drive humming. Looking to move it through the air. Fires on the move. Can't make the grab. Quarterback just missed him a little bit. And the incompletion brings up a second down for this offense. Going with the ground game left. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on third down. From the gun, wants to pass. Caught. And he slid through that attempt, and he's got room. And this defense has its work cut out to get this dude on the ground. He was shedding serious tackles on his way to picking up the first. Down to the 26-yard line and a first down. Use the play fake, now to throw. Fires on the move. A beautifully placed ball to the outside and the toe drag for the big pickup. From the 14-yard line, it's 1st and 10. They're in the red zone and they'll pass it. He's got it on the move. That completion will take it close to the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 6. They'll put the tight end in motion. Out of the gun, the give to the back. He pushes his way down to the 4 as they get closer and closer. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. And the Tar Heels trying to get a touchdown on 1st and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Tar Heels. Great example of how a second half can really change everything for a team.
No doubt. First half looked bad. It looked like it was bleak. It looked like it was ugly. But now you're starting to get it turned around. More drives like this is what's needed.
They opt to go for 2 to try to tie it up right now. From the gun. They're bringing heat. Looking to get it in the end zone, and down he goes. They were trying to tie the game, but they are denied, still down by 2. Almost ready to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. He'll start the return inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. NC State sending the offense back onto the field. Out of the chute, quick toss to the right. Finally run out of bounds, but he has this offense rolling with a first down. NC State quick to the line.
And a big key on that throw to the slot receiver, guys, is putting the ball out in front. The location of the throw is what helped that guy get extra yards after the catch.
From the gun, running back gets the give. They'll move the chains after he gets it to the 43-yard line. NC State at the line with a 1st and 10. The give to the back. Solid fundamentals on that tackle from this freshman. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. He'll keep it himself. And the defense snows him under after a very short gain. No huddle offense to the line. On 3rd down, he drops to throw. And this sophomore able to wreak some havoc and get the sack.
It is hard to continue to get up and get up and get up like he has, being sacked time after time again. But this QB, this offense, they're undeterred. They're continuing to put drives together, and most importantly, they're winning the football game.
Looks as if NC State will have to punt it away. Let's see if he can help the coverage team out with this one. Fields the punt. Wants to make a play. Everybody stays in their lanes well enough, and they stop him at the 31-yard line. Trying to find his man on first down. Finds a soft spot in the middle. Really nice pickup there as they have it out to the 44 with a first down. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. From the 44-yard line, the offense snaps it on first down. Going to the ground. And he's able to find a little bit of running room before they get him down. Good spot after that 7-yard pickup on first down. It's 2nd and 3. They'll run play action. It's complete. Good, solid pickup there. Now they can start to smell it with a first down at the 31. Give to the back. Makes one man miss. And he's able to bounce off one tackle for a solid pickup. This offense has a second down play. Leaves it with the running back. There to make the stop, and we've played 3 in this one. We've reached the end of the quarter, and NC State has the edge. And as we switch ends of the field, let's take a quick look at the national rankings. Starting off this quarter close enough to smell the goal line. They'll go to the air. Can't hold on. He had it right down the middle, and he flat dropped it. Can the defense stop them again on 2nd and goal? A little misdirection and the handoff on the counter. Touchdown, UNC! They move on top here in the 4th.
Man, I love this offense being able to run the football late in the game when it matters and punch it in for the touchdown, and more importantly, take the lead.
Lining up for the PAT. And the extra point is good, and the lead is 5 here in the 4th. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Guys, let's take a look at what's happening in a great college football matchup. Miami is in the unusual position of having to come from behind right now, but there's not a soul who doesn't believe they can't pull this off. It's a touchdown game. They're trailing by 7 to Western Michigan. We'll circle back. If anything big happens, you should know about it.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. And he's brought down after a nice gain. NC State going up tempo. Comes out throwing on first down. Quick completion on the out. They get him at the 42, but he picked up 10 there. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Finally, some signs of life from this offense, which has done nothing in the second half. It's 1st and 10. They'll try the left side. Makes one man miss. Not a whole lot of room to run. Let's give him a couple. Got 3 on first down. It's 2nd and 7. He'll do it himself. Got the first down and still on his feet. And a really nice run and pick up there before the defense avoided disaster and stopped the really big play. Looking to go up top on first down. Fires into traffic, intercepted. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception.
We've just seen in this game the ball has just gotten away from him a little bit. A couple of times, just hasn't been able to put it where he wants to. And as a result, that's now his 2nd pick thrown in this game.
North Carolina has it back, and the Tar Heels so pleased to send the offense back out. And now that cushion is a little bit smaller, Jesse, and any mistake would get magnified.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure now on this offense too, David. I think they got to go back to their playmakers and get these guys going in the game.
No doubt, find those plays you know you can run them in your sleep. You make sure you execute. build this lead a little bit bigger, put this thing away in the fourth quarter.
Big third down as the crowd gets behind this defense. From the gun, wants to pass. Here's an interception. Oh, did they need that turnover? And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the pick. A first down for the offense. They'll leave it with him. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Got stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. Pulled down after a pickup of 5, but they knocked that defense back, and they've got it down to the 34. Takes it from the gun on third down. And he is finding wide open defenders all over the field. His 3rd interception of the day. And they'll close in on him after a good return on the interception.
I think everybody thinks when you say middle of the field safety, that's an easy responsibility. There's a lot of field in the middle, okay? I got to cover a lot of space. He does an unbelievable job covering space, breaking on the football, seeing the route, and going and getting the interception. Nice play by that safety.
The North Carolina offense returns to the field. The give to the running back from the shotgun. Just sort of a relentless run, getting everything that was available to him, and they'll mark him down at the 40. A little too anxious along that offensive line. That'll be a false start.
False start. Offense.
So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. Let's see what they've got on second down. He's looking to throw. Setting up the screen. Still on his feet at the 45. He will step out of bounds, but not before the big pickup and a first down for this offense. He wants to throw. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball. After the quarterback and receiver failed to hook up, they'll try it again on second down. He's looking to throw. Bought a little time, lets it go. Fires to the tight end. That had all the makings of bug meat windshield, but how about the little corner taking on the big tight end and keeping him from getting the first? The aerial assault continues. The freshman able to get home with the sack.
Man, I think this quarterback needs to take his offensive line out for dinners more often because they're not protecting him. And sometimes it doesn't even look like they're trying. That now the 6th sack of the game for this defense.
The Tar Heels will bring the punt team onto the field. He's got it. Couldn't get away from that cover team, and they've got him down at the 23. North Carolina State has it back in the offense, headed to the field. He'll come out throwing on first down. It's loose. Oh, look what I found. The offense keeps it. That's about as close as you can get to that marker, and it will be second and just a few breaths away from the first down. The offense showing motion from the tight end, trying to get a read on the D. And he's knocked down, but not before moving the chains. NC State quick to the line. Wants to throw on first down. Excellent coverage and good use of the hands to knock it away. After the misfire, it's 2nd and 10. From the gun, they'll try to impose their will. And he has a solid gain before the defense bottles him up. After the strong run on second down, third down coming. Do they do it again? From the gun, wants to pass. Working that left side now. Nice job to pick up the first down, and they'll spot it at the 42.
Well, look, that wasn't a touchdown, but that was a massive play for this offense. They needed some momentum. They needed to find a rhythm, and what better way than converting on third down. Awesome job by the quarterback getting through his progression.
4 receivers set, 2 on each side on 2nd and 8. He's looking to throw. Oh, he wants it all. And he'll make the catch at the 15. And chunk plays are the name of the game, and they get one here before the defense finally makes the stop. Movement here from the tight end. He'll pull it on the read. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. Last play didn't go well. It leaves him with 2nd and 11. He's looking to throw. He makes the connection. They'll get it down to the 8-yard line on that throw and catch, and the defense is backed up against the wall. Wants to throw on 3rd down. Makes the grab. Touchdown, North Carolina State! And with that, they move out front here in the 4th.
Man, how about this quarterback right away saying, I got to get rid of the football. There's a lot of guys near the line of scrimmage. He spits it out, and I let my receiver do the rest. Let my playmaker make me look really good. Really nice pitch and catch. And guess what? You got the lead now in the 4th quarter.
Up by 1, they're going to try to get the deuce here and make it a field goal lead. They're going to run it. Headed toward the end zone, and they knock it loose. Defense coming up with a huge fumble recovery.
That's a decision I think the head coach is going to be questioned about after this football game, because you could have just tied the game easily with an extra point kick. You went for the lead. You come up short. Do you have time? Can your defense get you the ball back to give you an opportunity to win this one?
About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. North Carolina has it back, and the Tar Heels so pleased to send the offense back out. Quarterback now on the run, still looking. They stay aggressive and push their way out to the 33, and it's 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. To the air on 1st down. The freshman quarterback very fortunate for that one to fall incomplete. After the misfire now on 2nd down. He's looking to throw. Quickly complete.
This is a very tough slot receiver to cover if you're a linebacker because of how quick and how shifty he is. You never seem to know which way he's going, and he always seems to create an open space for his QB.
Good tackle there to stop him short of the 1st down, and now they have to make a call. And the Tar Heels will line up to punt it away. Just needs a crack to get a return. Was looking for more running room, but found nothing but more tacklers. He's down at the 24. They'll run it out of the shotgun. Now after that run, they're in pretty good shape at the 30-yard line. NC State going up-tempo.
They've got a lead here in the 4th quarter, and there's certainly still plenty of football to go, but this is where you'd love to control the flow of the game, right?
And he's running in the open. They get him on the ground, but it's a 1st down. They had hoped to come up with explosive plays, and they used one there to set him up inside the 30, 1st and 10. He's going to pass. It's complete. The stop is made, but this offense is threatening 1st and goal from the 9. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. So this offense has the lead. They have the ball. They have the clock on their side and a chance perhaps to put it out of reach. He'll be brought down at the 5-yard line, and this defense is on its heels. 2nd and goal for the offense. He's looking to throw. Got out of trouble, got rid of it. Finds his man. He's down at the 1, and they almost had the touchdown pass on that one. We'll see if this offensive line is ready for the blitz. If they can get it in here, we could have a thrilling end to this game. It is 3rd and goal. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. No hesitation from this head coach. He will go for it on 4th and goal from the 1. And they get to him and sack the quarterback, and they'll stop the drive on downs.
And that's the world we live in. You want to be aggressive. You want to get touchdowns. You don't want to kick field goals. Analytics says this. Well, now you get no points. And the defense bows up, and a big part of the field gets the big sack on 4th down and goal.
The North Carolina offense returns to the field. They've got them pinned back, and they're trying to rattle their eardrums. Listen to this crowd. Flags flying as the pass is incomplete. Let's see what the call is. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. Handoff from the gun. Gets that thing away from the goalpost. He's got 5 out to the 10-yard line. They've got them then deep in their own end, and this crowd trying to help keep them there. He finds his man. You can dance around and look for space, or you can throw the stiff arm at him. He gets it out to the 17. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. So 3rd and short from inside the 20. You convert here, and this drive takes on a different complexion. Quarterback on the keeper. They stripped it out. Oh, looks like the offense was able to recover it. The Tar Heels will hustle to the line. From the gun, the running back has it. Turns it on at midfield. And he was on his way. Gets it all the way to the 38.
Yeah, defensively, you better be ready to run east and west when you're playing against this offense in their running game. That time, the offense was able to outflank the defense to the right side for a big play.
They'll give it to him again. Here it is trying to flex the muscle. They get him down at the 34 after a pickup of 4. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. After the productive 1st down play, it's 2nd and 6. They've got him looking run. Now they're going to throw it. Makes a connection. And it is a chunk play, a huge gain on that one before the defense brings it to an end. We have reached the 2-minute warning, and time is of the essence if this offense is going to make a play. They'll throw it on 1st down. It's complete to the left. Going to work on 2nd down in the red zone, and still some ground to cover to pick up that 1st down. Now the play fake. Fires to the tight end. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. This is a tough one. A 3rd and long from this part of the field. They can, though, pick up the 1st down. Went to the running game on 3rd down and picked up 5, but still a couple of yards short. It's 4th and 2. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. This kicker is going to need nerves of steel on this one. And this one to put them on top, and it is getting late. The official says no good. And guys, not only a miss, but a missed opportunity to take the lead.
Well, that's one the kicker would like to have back. That's a kick he should be making in his sleep.
NC State sending the offense back onto the field. These are the games. These are the moments. This is the opportunity for the finish that people remember in rivalries like this.
And those highlights that are shown for years and years to come. These big-time moments, Palmer, coming down to the wire, who steps up and makes the big-time play.
And this is why you lift the weights in the offseason. This is why you do all the gassers and all the sprints. For moments like this, game on the line in one of the biggest games of the year.
Ball sitting right at the 30. It'll be 3rd and short. They'll run it, trying to drain time off the clock. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. NC State with the 1st and 10 here. And they'll take a knee.
And as a quarterback, man, this is a moment where you can finally exhale. It has been a back-and-forth battle. There have been some ups, there have been some downs, but at the end of the day, you did what it took to lead your team to victory. Enjoy kneeling right here, my friend. Well done.
There is nothing greater than a rivalry game unless you lose it. And in that case, there is nothing more miserable.
I agree, Reese. And that's why rivalry games are so great, because you take the stats and you take the rankings and you take the records and you throw it all out the window. There's always tremendous effort and passion when we see these rivalry games. We certainly saw it today. And David, for this losing team, this one's going to sting for a while.
It does, but it's so strange because I always feel the same way. I'm like, there's no chance that they have a chance to upset them. But then you go, it's a rivalry game. The vitriol, the hate, it's already there. And so it means so much in sports. Who's motivated for these games? So you do get up. It does become a good game, even when it's not a good game on paper.
So that's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis saying so long. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.